Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. I'm a pharmacist. I own 52 units of real estate and I help coach people to buy their first multifamily deal. So today I want to talk about the strategies I'm taking right now in preparation for a recession. So this is mid-April of 2025, and if you've been watching the news, you notice that the stock market has been going down, the bond market has been going down, interest rates have been going up, inflation has been going up. There's a lot of layoffs that are happening. So there's a lot of uncertainty that's happening in the world. So, for me, most of my net worth is in real estate. About $6.6 million is in total net worth. A million point four, 1.4 million is roughly in stocks, and the rest, like 5 million, is in real estate. So because the stock market went down, I think like 10-20%, my stock portfolio went down by about 150K. So it dropped 10%. So my net worth dropped by 150K, but my real estate stayed the same actually. So my S&P 500 index funds went down, my bond funds went down. I don't own any like crypto, but crypto has been going up a little bit, and got some gold recently, and gold has been doing a little bit better than usual. And in my mind, I think during times of uncertainty, that's when gold, that's when Bitcoin, that's when precious metals tend to do better. So, my net worth went down by 150K, which is crazy because that's how much a pharmacist makes in 1 year. But to be honest, my quality of life hasn't really changed. I'm not living off of my net worth currently. I still work a full-time job as a pharmacy manager at a hospital, and it doesn't really affect me. So it's kind of interesting how my net worth can fluctuate by how much a pharmacist makes in a year, and I feel exactly the same. So to kind of summarize, my net worth went down by 150K because stocks went down, bonds went down, and I have about $1.4 million worth of bonds and stocks. So my stocks went down by 10%. My real estate has stayed the same. My single family homes in California haven't gone down in value, they stay the same. My single family home in Huntsville, Alabama stayed the same, and my apartment's value has stayed the same because the income remains to be the same. So, with all that being said, how do I prepare for times of uncertainty? So, during times of uncertainty, which is today, as I said, stock market's going down, bonds are going down, gas prices are going up, interest rates are going up, inflation's going up, wages are stagnant, layoffs are happening. Even the hospital I'm working at, layoffs are anticipated to come. We'll see. Hopefully I survive, but I want to prepare accordingly. So the first thing I want to do to prepare is to hoard up on cash. So I want a decent cash reserve. I try to hold at least $100,000 in cash reserve for a rainy day. And why $100,000 is because I own a lot of real estate. If my tenants stop paying me, then I can afford to cover that mortgage. And if times are bad and there's a recession, your tenants are affected, what's going to happen? Maybe people pay less in my apartments. Maybe there's more evictions. I've had some of my tenants in my single family homes, they're starting to pay later and later and later. And I've been flexible with them because I understand they're going through a harder time. Maybe they're taking advantage of the situation. I don't know, but I lean on the path of empathy, which could burn me because maybe it's a tenant I have to evict. But I hope not to evict. I hope to survive during this rough time, so that, because they've been a good tenant, and I like to, like I said, lean of empathy. That's why I myself am a bad property manager, but I'm a good asset manager, because if my apartment tenants don't pay, then it's my property manager's job to make sure they pay, or they have to go through the eviction process. So number one is I want to hoard up on cash. So I want to bump up my cash savings to about $150,000 to $200,000 for two reasons. Number one, if I find a good real estate deal, I have the money to strike. Number two is if I lose my job, if my tenants stop paying, if something happens, I have the money. So between my cash reserves, that's liquid. I have a lot of brokerage index funds, which is liquid, but I hope not to sell, because I don't want to sell my index funds when they're low during the crash and be forced to use that money to cover my real estate and my living expenses. I hope not to do that. So that's why during bad times, during uncertain times, I want to increase my cash reserves. And you do this two ways. You can increase your income and decrease your expense. I'm doing both. Very simple. So let's talk about reducing expenses. So during this time of uncertainty, my spending is going to go down. I'm not going to buy things I don't really need immediately. Yes, I could use a new laptop. It's old, but can it wait? Yes, it can. I can wait until it breaks, and at that point, I have no choice but to buy a new laptop. Do I want a nice suit or some nice clothes or a nice watch? I could afford it, but does it make sense right now? It doesn't make sense right now. If I bought it right now, would it improve my quality of life? Not really. So I'm trying to cut down on material goods. And eating out, another thing. I do enjoy eating out. I also do enjoy eating at home. So if I'm trying to save more money, I'm going to reduce on what I eat out on, or eat food that's a little bit cheaper. So obviously when I eat out, I can eat at a nice fancy Michelin star steakhouse that's going to cost me $200, or I can go out and eat somewhere for like 10, $15 and still enjoy it. So during this window, when I'm trying to save more money, I might cut out on fine dining. Another thing too is, buying a lot of unnecessary things. Once again, just got a house, and I've been living here for not even a year, and I could see all the things that I've accumulated that I don't even need. So, cut down on this materialistic shopping. Something I won't compromise on is my vacation. So I like to travel 3 to 4 times a year. That's where I find my most joy, my most fulfillment. So when I travel, there's still a way to travel cost effective. And the way to travel cost effective is to stay at like more, I'd say 3-star, 4-star hotels. Or you could travel to Southeast Asia where it's cheaper, where a dollar goes a lot further. In Southeast Asia, like Vietnam, I could get a nice hotel for $40 a night. And it's a nice hotel in a good location. If I were to go to Europe, same thing. I could spend $300 to be in a more luxury hotel, or I could spend $120 and be in a 3-star hotel that's in a good location. Because I'm there, when I travel, I'm not there to stay in a hotel. I'm there to explore the area, to be in the city, to explore. I don't want to be at home. I'm only at home to shower, sleep, and rest. Otherwise, I want to be outside exploring the new area. That's why I travel. So it would change how I travel a little bit. Also, I cut down on, like, you just really have to watch your expenses like a hawk. Like, I log into my Chase account, I'd say multiple times a week, maybe every other day, to see what expenses are, to see where I can trim. Like, do I need Netflix right now? No, there's nothing good to watch on Netflix right now, but if I want to buy Netflix, maybe I'll wait a month or two, sign up for Netflix, and binge everything. So, it's Netflix only $7 a month, but just conceptually, right? You want to be really cognizant of how you spend your money and make sure you're spending money on things that bring you true joy and happiness. And for me, that's experiences, and that's for travel. Everything else, I cut back on. So find out what brings you joy, what brings you fulfillment, spend money on that. Whatever doesn't bring you joy, fulfillment, trim that as much as possible. So that's how I reduce my expenses. Next is increase your income. So obviously, I worth $6 million plus, own 52 units of real estate, cash flow $10K a month, which is as much as my job. Despite that, I still work my job. Why is that? It's because I know that I want to have a buffer. If I'm making income through my W-2 job and one of my tenants stop paying me rent, I can afford it. If I'm making money right now and saving money and I lose my job, then I can afford it to cover my mortgage because I have reserves. So it's nice to have multiple sources of income. So I have income from real estate. I have income from my W-2 job. I have income from YouTube. I have income from coaching. I have income from affiliates. I have income from dividends. So I'm trying to diversify my income streams, with real estate being my main one and my W-2 job being my main one. And I'm trying to build up other income streams. So during bad times, I want to focus all my time, all my energy in trying to increase my W-2 income, whether that's job hopping, whether that's trying to move up the ladder to make more money, whether that's taking on extra side gigs in pharmacy, or focusing more time and energy in creating content and doing more coaching. I want to do as many income streams as possible so that I have a large cash position so that I could insulate myself. But also, if I find a great real estate deal and I can buy it for 50% off, I can strike fast. That's my goal. So you can become a millionaire. A lot of millionaires are made during times of recession, during bad times. So I want to be positioned to strike during the bad times when there's a lot of multifamily operators out there who've managed their deals poorly, who haven't managed their expenses, who haven't managed their income, their NOI went down, and because their loan is being called due, their cap rates are going up because interest are going up, values are going down, they might be underwater and they're trying to sell, or the bank will take over and I can buy it from the bank. So that's why I want to be well positioned. That's why I am, like you said, trying to increase my income, lower my expenses, save more cash, and not make any major moves. And I make very aggressive real estate offers that make sense for me and only me. So that's another thing I'm doing. I'm looking at deals on Zillow because I don't want to pay for direct mail right now. And I find apartment complexes in Oklahoma City and I see them listed. And on the listing, I see the broker's phone number. So I'll grab that number, text them, and said, "Hey, I'm Steven. I own an apartment complex 5 miles away from your apartment complex, and I'm looking to buy more. Can I get a T12 and a rent roll so that I can get the ball rolling on an offer after I send it to my lender?" And then they'll send me the T12, they'll send me the rent roll, and then I'll say, "Hey, in the interim, as I wait for my lender to underwrite this deal, are you interested in doing any creative financing or seller financing? Whether I take over the loan, subject to, or you do a seller carry or a seller carry second." So I can get more creative with my offers. And once again, I make offers that make sense for me that they'll probably say no to. But I just need one yes to get a great deal. Example, I offered on a 50-unit apartment complex in Enid, Oklahoma. They wanted $2 million. I offered 1.4 based on the numbers. That made sense for me. Also, there's a 16-unit that I made an offer on. They wanted $1.2 million. I offered $700K because that made sense for me. And out the gate, they reject my offer. And I said, it's okay. It's okay to reject my offer. The offer's there. So once again, I'm making offers at 50, 60% below what they want because the market is uncertain. Interest rates are very volatile right now. And it's okay to get rejected. If one person is desperate enough, they may say yes. And I'm also trying to build relationships with the broker because they knew I made an offer. They knew I'm serious. The seller didn't like the offer. And I explained, hey, I would love to make a more aggressive offer if interest rates were lower and cap rates were lower. But because interest rates are higher, cap rates are higher, based on the NOI that you've given me, this is what my bank can lend on. No hard feelings. So I'm trying to make offers to know what good deals look like. And I'm trying to build relationships with lenders so that when they have a good deal and a buyer that's motivated or a seller that's motivated, I'm there to strike. So I'm going to constantly follow up with these brokers every 2 months. Hey, is the seller interested in my offer now? It's been 2 months. And they'll see what they say. Maybe they want to play ball. Maybe they don't want to play ball. But I want to be well positioned to strike once again. So because of times of uncertainty, it's making me, like I said, really appreciate my W-2 job right now. I know I can retire. I know if I sell, I can retire. But why not? Why not ride out the recession and I can come out of the recession maybe closer to 10 million. Who knows? If I find a good one or two good real estate multifamily deals, typically when stocks go down, they'll go skyrocket back up. That happens a lot if you look at history. So money is made during times of uncertainty, but you must not be wiped out and you must be well positioned with large cash and reserves. So that's why I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to keep my cash reserves higher. I'm building it up. Maybe I'll cut down on my 401k investing. That's why I want to build it up. So that's another thing I'm doing. So once again, summarize, increase my income, focus on my side business, try to make more income, diversify my income streams, lower my expenses, and make very aggressive offers on real estate that makes sense for me and only me. And it's okay to get rejected. I'm in no rush to buy more real estate. So get comfortable of saying no. But when you get one yes, or you see a deal on Zillow that's appropriately priced, you can strike fast. So like I said, my offers have been 50% less than what the seller wants, and I'm not willing to put a larger down payment on the deal. It doesn't make sense unless we're close. Then I'll do it and I see the upside. But because interest rates are so volatile, I want to make sure I'm buying right, because you make money on the buy. You make money on the buy. Once again, you make money on the buy. Never pay for pro forma pricing. You make money when you buy right. That's how I made all my money on my 26 unit. I bought it right, doubled the value. My 20 unit, I bought it right, was able to increase the value by 50%. I make money on the buy, specifically in multifamily. So just be consistent, be persistent, make an offer that makes sense for you, and then move on. You do that 300 times, 400 times, 500 times, you'll eventually get a deal when people are really desperate. Another thing that I'm doing is, staying patient. Like, once again, just stay patient, be consistent, make offers, follow up. It's okay if I don't get a deal in the next year or two. But if I get a deal in year 3 and it ends up being another good apartment complex, that's all I need. And another thing that I may consider doing, if I actually do want to retire or there's a good deal, I may sell some of my properties and do a 1031 exchange up, or sell properties and pay off some debt, take some debt off the table. Because during times of uncertainty, like right now, I do feel stressed because I have a mortgage. If I were to lose my job, I do have reserves, but I would feel stressed because I have a mortgage. Fast forward the same situation, I lose my job, but I have no mortgage. That's $5,000 a month. I'd feel less stressed. If I lost my job and got laid off and I had no mortgage, I would just take a sabbatical and travel for like a few months, and then start applying for jobs at that point. So it's a different mindset. If you're stressed for your mortgage, you lose your job, you're super stressed scrambling for another job. If you have no mortgage, you lose your job, you can do whatever you want. You can take a sabbatical. So that's why I'm trying to position myself. And also, I'm trying to really learn and observe, because this is the first recession that I've been in. I started really investing in 2013, when it was after the 2008 crash. And I've never seen stocks, fall significantly. I've never seen real estate crash significantly. So it's nice to see and learn from this cycle, and to know how to make myself stronger for the next time. So, and I know strength comes from having high income, low expenses, high savings rate, and just making offers that make sense for you, and don't do anything risky. Like my business that I own through YouTube, through coaching, it's low overhead. There's no overhead, essentially. I don't have an office or anything. And everything is profit, even though profit's not much. So that's how I'm pivoting myself moving forward, because I want to be recession proof. I want to be recession resistant. I want to survive during the good times, and I want to survive during the bad times. So once again, opportunities are coming with multifamily. So be consistent, make offers, and build up that cash reserve, and keep your expenses low, and raise your income, and maintain a high savings rate. So if you take all those principles, I think you'll be good during this times of uncertainty. So anyways, let me know what questions you have. Let me know what comments you have. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one. And if you want to join my mentorship program, check out the link down below. Thank you so much.